What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to edit your cinematics on Premiere Pro and After Effects. But of course, I say this every time, make sure you like and subscribe, and also if you'd like to support me in the item shop, that is code Khypz. I repeat, code Khypz. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the tutorial. See you later. Alright, so we're going to start off with After Effects, and I'm going to try to explain this as simply as possible. So of course, you start and create a new project. I'm just gonna go with the usual 1920 by 1080, and I'm gonna set it to 60 FPS because my clips are in 60 FPS. I'm just gonna name this test. Click OK. We are in After Effects, so now I'm just gonna double click to import my clips. I'm just gonna look for them. Okay, I've imported my clips in my song. I'm just gonna drag my song in to the timeline. I'm gonna double click L so that I can see the waveforms, and I'm just gonna mark a couple beats so that I know what I'm gonna do with my clips. So we're gonna put a marker here. This is gonna be the main beat, and the cinematics are gonna be, I think, cinematic. So the first one is gonna be here, second cinematic is gonna be here. Okay, we've got the beats laid out. Now we're gonna just find our clip. Gonna drag this in, gonna right click, transform, fit to comp, and then we're just gonna look for where the kill happens, which is right about here. So I shoot my gun right about right here. Okay, so now we just cut, or you could just just cut it. For me, it's Shift and Z. Just set a shortcut. I'm gonna drag it over to one of these beats. I'm gonna drag this way, right click the beat, go to marker time, zoom in a bit more, and just sync it. Okay, so sync, let's see how it looks. Okay. So first, that's pretty basic. We're obviously gonna add some stuff to that. So now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna just put a little bit of time mapping on this scene. So what you want to do is right click, go to time, go to enable timer mapping, or for me it's Shift and V because I set that as my shortcut. Now, most important thing, there are keyframes that spawn on the far right and the far left of each clip, or when you timer map, ignore them. Just pretend they're not even there. Trust me, I spent hours messing with those. Just ignore them. Now what you want to do is you want to actually go back to where you first pull out your shotgun, so around here, and you want to just cut and then go all the way until it shoots right here, and you want to cut again. Now you already have timer mapping enabled. You can just click U on your keyboard to see it. You want to go to the beginning of the clip, put a keyframe, go to the end, put another keyframe, then you want to highlight them, press F9, and then go in the graph editor. Now what you want to do is you want to drag this up and drag this down. This will basically make like a slow fast sort of thing. You can actually adjust these more to make it like, if it's steeper in the middle, the slower it is. So see how it's kind of choppy though? It's choppy when it's slow. You want to just go under frame blending and double click. This will turn on optical flow basically, or you could just use Twixtor if you want, and it'll just make it less choppy. Let's see. Looks a lot less framey, if you get what I mean. So I'm gonna just adjust this a bit more to my liking. Now after you've adjusted it to how you like, you can just click graph and you'll back out. Okay, so for the next one, you want to just come right where the shot is again, press U on your keyboard, and just place a keyframe. Then you want to skip a little bit to about, skip around to about right here. Yeah, about here. Put another keyframe, highlight them, press F9 again, back into the graph editor. Now what you want to do is you want to click here, and just drag this straight up and drag this straight across. Basically what this does is this makes it go from really fast to like steady slow. So let me show you what I mean. You see it's like way too fast, like the slow motion is way too quick. So we're gonna have to drag this keyframe like a bit, maybe like to here, and then head back into the graph editor, because as you can see, when it goes up and it curves, it actually reverses, and that's not what you want, trust me. So you're just gonna bring this down to about here, and let's see how that looks. Looks a lot cleaner. Maybe drag this down a little bit more, and there you go, you just timer mapped. It's pretty clean. So I'm just gonna cut it about here, and now what we need to do is we actually need to space it out. For when it pulls out here, we're just gonna leave a bit of a space for these frames here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click this, hold control, press this one as well. This is gonna select both, and then you just want to drag. You want to put your marker and you just want to drag them to about right here, so you have enough space for your cinematics. And then you want to just drag this one, put this about here. That looks good. So now you have space for your cinematics. So now it's time to timer map the cinematics. So we're gonna find the first one, which I believe is this one. Is it this one? Yes, this one. Okay. So you're gonna drag this. It doesn't matter where you put it. You can put it above. You're gonna go to transform, fit to comp, or shortcut, whatever it is, and you're gonna go to the end, and you're just gonna look for the spot where you do the cinematic. So about here, starts right here. So you're just gonna cut it here, and then you're gonna want to zoom in a little bit so you can see what you're doing. As usual, you want to go to timer mapping, or your shortcut, and you can see we have a keyframe. Ignore this one. The other one is all the way over here. Ignore this too. And now what you want to do is you want to put a keyframe here and go all the way to the point where you want it to stop. So for me, I'm probably gonna stop it about here. That's far enough. And then you want to highlight them, F9 on your keyboard. It's kind of like how we did with the clips. And now what you want to do actually is, before you actually timer map it, you just want to drag it over to where the song is, and you just want to line it up with the beat, which we've already kind of pre-done for ourselves. So you just drag it here. If you want, you could just drag it to under this frame, or under this clip, sorry. And then what you want to do is drag this closer and line it up to about right here, this other beat, so that then you can just trim the clip and you only have what you need. So I actually forgot to tell you that when you do this, you actually want to put another one somewhat in the middle, so about right here. So you're gonna put another one there, and then you're just gonna re F9 it. And then what you want to do is you actually want to take the last one and drag it down. Yo guys, Future Khypz here. I just wanted to let you know that the reason I dragged my last keyframe down is because I want my cinematic to reverse. If you don't want your cinematic to reverse and you want it to just keep flowing, then do this graph here. If you want it to reverse like how I'm doing, then do this graph here. However, in my case, I'm going to be doing the right graph because I want my cinematic to reverse. Anyways, hopefully that cleared up any confusion that you might have had. Back to the video. Onto the line, so that it's on the same like bar as the first one. And then you just want to hold shift and drag this way out to about right here. Then hold shift on this one and just pull it all the way in. Then you want to do the same for the other side. So just drag it and then drag this all the way in. So you want them to be about the same length so that it comes out and then it reverses and goes back in. So let's see how that looks. That looks pretty clean. Yeah, that looks pretty clean. If you want, you can actually just mess with the numbers in order to make the zoom out further. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it to about here. See how that looks. Damn, that looks pretty good. Okay, nice. So now we're gonna work on the other cinematic, which is this one. So we're literally gonna do the exact same thing. Timer map it, place the keyframe, go to where we want it. So about here. Yeah, about here is fine. Put a keyframe down, highlight them, hit F9, go somewhat in the middle, put another keyframe down. So it's already F9'd, and then you just want to drag it over to the beat right here. Drag it so that it's in line. Then you can drag this down here. And then you want to drag these. I want to drag these closer. So somewhat like this. Make it line up with this part. And then just kind of guesstimate the middle. So I think the middle's about here. Then we can just go to this keyframe, cut it. And now just want to head on over to the graph. In the graph, just drag it down, drag this across, drag this across, drag this across, and this. I'm gonna raise this so you can see more of the video. So about here, because the black bars are gonna cut off a lot of the characters' head and the legs and stuff. So let's see how that looks. Okay, we're gonna raise that up a little bit more. It's still kind of weak. Okay, so we finished remap the sins. What we want to do is click the top layer, hit Control and A, and just press E. And this is just gonna close all the effects and the time remapping and everything, so that it's a lot more simpler. So now let's just play back what we have.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
Of course, this is pretty plain, so we are going to add some effects. So you're going to go to effects and presets, and you're going to look up blur mode curves. S_blur mode curves. What we're going to do is we're going to drag it onto... Actually, no. What we're going to do is we're going to click this one, press Control, and then click the next 4 layers like so, and then just double click blur mode curves. This is automatically going to put it onto every single layer. You're going to want to click on this layer and just come about here, and then you're going to want to click wrap X, put it to reflect, put wrap Y to reflect as well. Then you're going to want to set a Z distance keyframe, put it to about 1.4, go back about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go back about 5 frames, put it to 1, and this is then going to create a little like zoom out transition, as you can see. So actually 5 may be a bit much, so just press E, and then it's going to show your effects. So 1, 2, 3, skip about 5, do about 5, and then go to the next frame, or the next clip, sorry, and do the same thing, reflect, but this time you're going to do it backwards. So you're going to keyframe, and you're going to do about 0.3, and then do 1, 2, 3, and then reset it again. So now it does zoom out to zoom in to zoom out, so it looks a lot cleaner now, as you can see. And then for this part where it zooms back in, we're gonna do the opposite, and we're gonna put this to 0.2, and then go back 1, 2, 3, about 3 frames, put this to 1, so that it zooms in as it's going. Go to the next clip, we're just gonna do the exact same thing. So now let's see how that looks with blur mode curves. You see it looks a lot cleaner now, but we're not done. So now what you want to do is look up S_shape, and you're just gonna want to drag this onto both of the cinematics like this. Just drag it, sorry, not drag, I mean just double click it, and that's gonna put it on both of these cinematics. Now you're gonna want to go to the one of the clips and copy my settings, okay? Go to X, put X to about 10. Go to Y and put Y to about 20. And make sure your Z shake is off. And then go to tilt shake, put this to about 1. Put this to 1 as well. And then go back up and then put your frequency to about 2, actually 1. And then make the amplitude like 3. So it gives it a bit of shake. Okay, that's a bit too slow. Put it to 2. Let's see, how does that look? That looks way better. Yeah, that looks way better. You can actually raise the amplitude a little bit, but don't go too crazy with it. And now you can actually just delete shake on this clip and just copy the settings from here, paste it onto this clip. So now both clips have the exact same shake. But now, this is the interesting part about After Effects. Look up something called motion tile, and you're gonna just drag this onto both of your clips. And you always want to make sure that your motion tile is at the top of all of your effects. Just put it to the very top. You're gonna put the output width to 200 and the output height to 200, and you're gonna make sure mirror edges is on. Then you can just copy this from here, come over here, delete this one and paste it, and it will paste, and you just drag it up. Or you could do the second option, which is to hit Control Alt and Y. This is gonna make a new adjustment layer, and you can just drag it on the adjustment layer and then do the exact same thing, 200, and it'll automatically just be put on on basically every single clip. But sometimes it doesn't work and it just bugs out on adjustment layers, so I'm just gonna put it on the clip itself. So as you can see, there's no like black lines or anything, because normally black lines pop, like they normally pop up for some reason. Now next thing we want to do, another effect I use, S_warp chroma. You're gonna want to drag this onto both of your clips, and you're gonna want to scroll down, and you want to put warp amount to about 0.4, and put Z distance to 1.1. This is gonna give it a nice chroma. So now that you have it on this clip, you can just go to this next one. You can copy the effects, or you can just type them in manually. I mean, who does that, really? Put this to 1.1, and now both of your clips have a nice chroma on them. This is basically all I do for most of my scenes. One more thing you should actually know, you need this step. You want to press Control and Y, not Control Alt and Y, just Control and Y. This is gonna make a solid. Make sure the solid is black. You don't have to name it. No one cares. Just click OK, and then you're gonna want to go to the beginning of your scene. Or actually, no, you're gonna want to cut it about here. Go back 10 frames, cut it here, and then go to the end of your scene and skip another 10 frames and cut it here. Then you're gonna look up something called CC Jaws, and you're gonna drag it onto this adjustment layer. This is gonna be the black bars. What you want to do is put the height to 0% and then put the completion to 80%. And then what you actually want to do is you want to go to the beginning of the cinematic, go back about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go back 5 frames, click completion, put it to 100, and then skip another 10 frames and put it to 80. 10 frames. Yeah, skip another 10 frames and put it to 80. And then if you want, you can actually animate the black bars mid cinematic. You just have to do it when it starts the Blurmo curve. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll actually have to open up the effects panel, or the effects part, sorry, and then press keyframe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you can make it less. You can make it like 90, let's say, because this cinematic is like really close to the black bars, so you're actually gonna want to make it less. And then to get rid of them, you just go to the beginning of where the shot actually happens, click it, and then skip about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames, put it back to 100, and you just animated black bars. Beautiful. Okay, so that's basically how I do most of my cinematics. One more thing I'm gonna do, just to add a bit more pizzazz to this clip, I'm actually gonna look up Twitch. This is a plugin, you can look for it, you'll find it on the internet somewhere, YouTube, trust me. And I actually have a preset for it already, so I'm actually just gonna show you guys and let you guys look at my preset. So I'm gonna do this, go to Twitch. So as you can see, I already have it as a preset, but I actually have to adjust it. So I just put it to 120. I enable the blur and the slide, everything else can stay off, and then I put the blur to 50. I leave everything else how it is, and I put the slide to 50 as well, and I just leave everything else exactly how it is. And then you just keyframe it, keyframe the amount from 100 and the speed from 20, just keyframe it all the way down to 0. I'm actually gonna have to adjust this a little bit, so I'll show you once it's done.
Hey, Ross, sauce it up.
Alright, that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys learned something from everything that I was showing you. Also, at 150 likes, I'm going to be dropping a part 2 of this video where I show you how to do cinematics on Premiere Pro. Anyways, that's enough talking from me. Peace.
Fuck a romance, she ride with no hands, cause I'm the goat. I tell her go ahead, she take off her pants, it's open, she got some strong head, I fear no